Hi again, everyone. This video is going to introduce us kind of to the landscape of online learning and blended learning. And I always have to say at the beginning of this video that this is in no way an end-all be-all of everything that is online learning or everything that is blended learning. All it is meant to do is just give us kind of this brief introduction to some of the things that are out there. But there are so many things out there that it would be impossible to touch on them all in one video. So we're going to get started with talking about something that is a pretty popular way to receive some information, and it is called a MOOC. A MOOC is an acronym for Massively Open Online Course, and it's exactly what the acronym stands for. It is a course that is offered, and it has tons and tons of participants. They can have tens of thousands of participants in the courses. One of the best known providers of MOOCs currently is called Coursera, and they have partnered with some of the major universities around the world, and they offer courses that are just massive and open. A MOOC is something that people often would take if they would like to just get some information and not necessarily have to do a lot of collaborative work or turn assignments in. I myself have taken MOOCs before, and they're really good for just getting information. The second thing that you often see in online learning or hear about is something called Khan Academy. Khan Academy started out as simply its founder just making videos on different subjects to help his nephew learn stuff, and then he started posting this on YouTube and started gaining followers, and now it has turned into an amazing resource library where students can go in and take courses. They can use Khan if they want to use it as something to maybe if they need some extra tutorial help. They also have started to delve into blended learning, and it's just a pretty amazing thing. If you look, here are some science courses offered by Khan Academy. You can go down and look at partner content, and they have partners all over the world. They have it's just a pretty amazing resource library, and I know I myself go in there a lot to look at stuff on blended learning. The third type of thing that's happening in online learning is there are these diploma granting programs. So no longer do students have to go to brick and mortar schools. Some families are choosing for their students to do their coursework completely online. K-12 is one of the largest course providers of that, and they serve students in kindergarten through 12th grade, and if they make it through the program, they're offered a diploma. Another popular option with online, just completely online high school right now is Stanford University has their online high school. Moving into the area of blended learning, there are lots and lots of different things happening with blended learning. One of the things that you will see with blended learning is there are sites like Edutopia, and they highlight different schools that are using blended learning models, and they call this Schools That Work. So you can go in there and kind of type in blended learning and just see all sorts of interesting blended learning that's going on around the country. Another big name in blended learning is the Clayton Christensen Institute, and what the Clayton Christensen Institute is doing is they are really studying these models of blended learning and trying to really define clearly 4 or 5 different models and ways that blended learning works successfully. So they have a lot of research in their database, and throughout this course you'll see we will send you there at some point to look at some things. So they've done research on basically what is blended learning, what are the most common models of blended learning, and that sort of thing. One really interesting program that I like to highlight in this course is called Minerva, and this is a college level program that is trying to redefine what college looks like. They have their founding group of students in the program this fall, and what they really are just focused on is this really high quality educational experience, but how are you using the online learning environments? how will you define your future? One of the things I think is most interesting about their application process is that they have students do a self-reported transcript. And what they are hoping to do, if you look at interviews with their founders and different things, is they just really want to transform the entire experience of higher education to really match this world that we're living in. So they use a lot of robust online learning platforms. The students do a lot with global competencies. It's a pretty amazing program, and I would recommend checking it out. Finally, I like to talk about Global Online Academy and our student courses in online environments and kind of what makes us different from the different models that we have kind of just looked through. Really what sets Global Online Academy apart is the fact that it's really built on the same principles that define high quality independent school education. First and foremost, at the center of everything is the relationship with the student. It's not just the relationship with student to teacher, but student to student. Our courses are kept very small. We cap them at 18 students, and we also focus on keeping our courses globally diverse, which means we don't let a whole bunch of students from one school sign up for the same course. So students get this really interesting and unique global perspective on any issues that they are working on. But again, they're just built on this really strong foundation of what all strong independent schools are built on. It's relationship, academic rigor, small course size, and it's just being pushed out into an online learning environment and opening up the world to the students. The final thing I want to leave you with is kind of my thoughts on blended learning. So I have the privilege of being able to look at blended learning, go to conferences and talk to other people that are working on blended learning, work with the amazing educators at our member schools and our non-member schools, just to learn a lot about what is happening with blended learning. And the way I define blended learning is this. It's a continuum. There's a brick and mortar classroom, which is where everything is just happening in one location and on campus. And then there are online classrooms where all the learning and everything's happening in an online learning environment. So you never go to brick and mortar. Everything in between those 2 points is blended learning. So you may be using a model, or you may be flipping your classroom or doing something like that, but whatever it is, if you are not just in the brick and mortar environment, or not just in the online environment, really everything in between is blended learning. So, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it, and I know that you're going to have your own ideas about what blended learning is. So the bottom line for me is blended learning is whatever works for you using online learning environments. And that means whether you're a classroom teacher, you're a building level administrator, or a different role in your school community.